play our thing. Okay. Um, so why don't we just start with kind of a 2-minute update from each of you, just what's going on in personal, family, work, etc. So Rachel, why don't you start? Because I know you just went somewhere really cool.
Yeah, I just celebrated my birthday last Tuesday. I was in San Diego for that, getting some sunshine in. And as far as, yeah, I think, so yeah, that was really exciting in my life. And then just really hung out and chilled at home over the weekend while the snowstorm happened. And then looking forward, I have a friend coming into town tonight who's like a personal chef. So we're gonna cook up a mean meal tonight. So really excited for that.
Nice. Awesome. What are you making?
Not sure. I bought a bunch of, I literally just bought a bunch of vegetables from Whole Foods, and he's like a intuitive chef. So I just like literally, I was like, anything I need to add, he's like, that looks good. Get rid of the avocados and should be good to go.
Nice. Well, I wish I was closer. I'd come over for dinner.
Yes,
That's awesome.
please.
Kat, what's going on with you?
Yeah, trying to think. Not much is new, I would say. Just I don't know, just I guess still easing into the into the new year. So we have a new month. So now we're in February. Things are going pretty well. As for holistic, our team has been expanding some. I think we've been getting a lot of new business, and so we've added a few new people to the team. So that's kind of exciting to see. The growth kind of happening so quickly at holistic. So that's been well. And then yeah, other than just staying inside away from the snow, I've just been trying to take it easy. I don't know, doing different activities to feel a bit more in control of my workload. For a while, I felt like I had like definitely a lot of things going on, but yeah, I bought a whiteboard recently, and I've been enjoying like using that and writing on it. And honestly, just like I'll have several meetings throughout the day, and it seems like I never have time to get work done. So often I'll like kind of basically schedule that into my day. Like, okay, from this time to this time, I'm answering emails, or from this time to this time, I'm working on this project. So really just, I guess, learning how to manage myself. So that's kind of been a priority for January and moving forward. So yeah, that's my update.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great tool to do, just to block off time for email or thinking or create it, whatever it is. Because I agree with you. I have that problem too, and if you don't block it off, people will be like, "Can I meet with you at
Yeah,
this time?"
exactly.
And then you're like, "Okay," and then the day's gone. So
Yep.
kudos to
Exactly.
you. That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Diana, let
I
us know
thought
what's
the
going
same.
on.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I really relate to that. I do not know where the day goes. And so I've started to do the same thing. For me, I get up, I walk my dog, I have a cup of, I turn the computer on, and I am not going to do that anymore, because once I turn my computer on, the day is gone, it feels like. So
Yeah.
I've been regimenting more. But I love snow. So Daisy and I were out 3 times yesterday,
Wow.
and most of the sidewalks were, and the ones that weren't shoveled, it was a little weird walking through that snow. But the exciting thing is, not this past Saturday, but the before, both of my grandsons and fiance and wife and my 3 great grandchildren all came here for dinner. So I hadn't seen them in months. I didn't see them over the holidays. So that was really fun. And I was worried about Daisy, because the youngest one isn't even a year and she's crawling all over, and Daisy is following her. But it worked out fine. So things are good. Life is good.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad Daisy's doing so much better.
Yeah.
Jinjin, what's going on with you?
Not much, nothing new going on, but I really enjoying the time. Finally have time to read books that I always wanted to read, and I watched a movie during the past weekend. It called The Promising Young Women. Judy and I would talk about the movie during our past Friday meeting. I have to say I had a mixed feeling about it, but I'm not gonna spoil the movie for anyone. I'm looking forward to hearing any of your opinions if you happen to watch it. And also, I also have a whiteboard right next to where I'm sitting right now. It's a very useful way just to map out my ideas or just to write down random thoughts or the thing I want to do. And I also agree with Diana. I like snow too. That's why I'm sitting here today. I'm sitting right in front of my window from where I can see the Willis Tower and the different train stations. It's covered in snow over the weekend, but now the snow started to melt, but still pretty outside. So yeah, I'm just pretty grateful and nothing new, but it's pretty slow and great.
Nice. Good. Well, I watched that movie, Jinjin, this weekend too. So you and I will have to talk offline
Yeah,
about it because it was something. So I'll give my date. So I usually like to see all of the Oscar nominated Best Picture films like before the Oscars. And the AMC used to have like this back-to-back viewing party, and they're not doing that. But they also added to the number of Best Picture nominated films. So it was like then a 2-day process versus a 1-day process, which I can't commit to 2 days of movies. That's just too much. But anyway, I wrote the list of what they all are. So I'm kind of trying to make my way through them just at home because I like doing that. I still have my middle daughter at home, which is really nice. She kind of started school today, but it's not academic. I'll drive her back to New Hampshire on the 12th of February. We'll just take 2 days. We're going to go through Buffalo. We're going to take a peek at Niagara Falls, like just to see if we can see it, like right there. Why not? I've never seen it. Obviously, it's a winterscape. We can't go to the Canadian side, so we'll see what we see, which will be nice. Work is busy, like always, but going really well. And we're just all doing great work and for a good cause and a great mission, which makes it really easy. On a personal note, I broke up with my long-term boyfriend. We had dated, well, we'd been together for almost 2 years, and I just had really the past 3 months, I've really been going through a lot of personal reflection and what my personal goals are that I want to accomplish for this latter part of my life and what my values are. And his values were aligned, but his delivery wasn't aligned. And so I knew in time that just would not work. So I ended that relationship, which was really sad because I loved him and hard. I mean, took him by surprise, but yeah. So I was a little off for the past week and a half. So that's why. But greener pastures ahead, and I feel really good. Like I feel really light, and that's good. So that's all of our updates. So we'll just jump in on it. I have the agenda here. So just girls served, not a huge increase because we really haven't done any programming except for Business Blast in January. So we added 4. So we're at 129. Dollars raised. January is pretty slow, but we increased by about $13,000 over December. And I'll talk more about fundraising kind of as we get to the fundraising component. And why don't we launch into Yay? And Kat and Rachel, like, how's everything going? Are there roadblocks? How do the girls feel? Like, I'd love to know like the energy and enthusiasm or wavering enthusiasm, or kind of what's the energy of the room and what are you seeing and any problems?
Yeah, I'll start talking to it, and then Rachel, feel free to chime in. I think something that we've noticed is just with that out. So our classes are an hour and a half. That time just flies by so quickly each week, and like I can't even explain it, Jody. I tell you, like out of all the meetings I have, I feel like the Yay classes just go by so quickly. And we often have, you know, different things that we want to get through and discuss. And so I, it is kind of hard. I am curious, you know, of course I wasn't here last year to see how like in-person classes were, but I do understand the, you know, classes being shorter since we are virtual and attention spans, but it really is kind of hard to really connect with the students, get through speakers, get through all that we want to do in such a condensed time. So yeah, that's something that's just been on my mind a lot.
I'm curious, just since this is the first year we've done that, and we were 3 hours before, and I know Rachel and Sheila were like, oh my gosh, we can't get through what we need to get through in 3 hours. And now it's an hour and a half. Like, do you feel like the girls' attention spans are really waning at hour and a half? Or if we were to consider virtual in the future, could they do 2 hours? I don't know. What are you thinking?
Right, that's a great question. It is hard to say. I feel like each student is in a different place. Like for some students, I can feel like, okay, they're very much sitting like at a desk in front of their computer, super focused. But I know also with virtual, I can tell some students tend to be doing like multiple things at once. And then it's hard to like, I don't know, like really have that attention, and especially if their cameras are off for part of the class or something, to just really tell and read from their face, like, okay, do you understand what we're up to? Does this connect with you? Where are you at? It is hard to navigate in a virtual setting. I do think like expanding it, it's hard to say. I think expanding it is necessary, like for future classes, if they were virtual, just honestly to get through the material. But um, yeah, I am thinking about like attention spans. It's hard. I think that's what people are experiencing in in school districts, just keeping kids attentive, and the struggles with that. So, yeah.
So what percentage of the girls keep their cameras off? Because I think it would be really helpful that we kind of require that they keep their cameras on so we know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think it's only 1 or 2 girls that keep them off. Like
Okay.
I know Josephine pretty consistently keeps hers off. And then the others, for the most part, keep theirs on. I know Vivian probably keeps hers off a little bit of the time too.
Yeah.
Have you asked them like why that is? Are they nervous? Are they not comfortable? Are they in a place where there's stuff going on? Like, I don't know.
Right. I haven't like, I don't know, like occasionally if we like do a class screenshot or something, it's like, okay, everyone turn your camera on, you know, so we can take a picture kind of like of the class. Usually that goes by perfectly fine, but we've heard things like, oh, I'm in the car right now, or like, oh, I don't, you know, I don't look presentable right now for a camera, or it can honestly just be a mix of things. So yeah, and kind of it is, I don't know, I would prefer, you know, everyone's camera to be on. We can tell that they're attentive. Um, but I also don't want to like kind of ostracize students right there on the spot, like, you know,
Yeah.
have
No,
to
I'm
have your
thinking maybe if you call her or text her, you
yeah,
know,
or
on the
even
side.
privately. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, privately ask her, because I think if we're going to continue virtual, it's important that they all, and obviously we are for this class, but as I'm thinking ahead, having their cameras on is so important. I mean, for you guys as the leaders and instructors, and for the girls too, so they get to, that's the only way they get to like know each other or see each other.
Yeah, and
Rachel, what do you want to add?
yeah, we've emphasized that too since like the beginning of the class. Like, you know, we were in class together, you wouldn't have like a privacy folder up, you know, pretending like you're not in class. So we've tried to emphasize that. So, but yeah, like what Kat said, it's kind of been a combination of like they're not presentable. I don't know, yeah, or like they're in the car, but it's definitely not like for the majority of them are on camera. So, but yeah, but we are noticing the girls that are on camera are definitely way more like, we know that they're paying attention, that they're on track with like class deadlines, and versus the ones that have not had them on, they're kind of a little bit more behind in class. So I think that might be something that we would probably follow up with. Wanted to kind of circle back to the hour and a half versus 2 hours. as well. And I think adding an extra half hour wouldn't. I think we could still probably keep them, like in terms of, I think we could still probably keep their attention, as long as we kind of had a break at the 1 hour mark, maybe to like stretch, move around, bathroom bio break. I think we could probably extend it. But yeah, it's definitely like what Kat said, is it's the class flies by so fast, especially with speakers. Like we've been trying to limit how much time the speakers talk for, and a lot of times it's, we tell them like 30 minutes max, and sometimes it does go over, especially if the girls want to ask questions, which is great. Like the speakers have been great, but it does definitely, like, it doesn't allow us then to go into some of the content that we have to cover that day. And then something that I noticed from last year is we had a lot more class time to work on the actual business plans, versus now it really requires them to work outside of class. And I think some of them are still a little bit behind, a little bit more behind than they should be, as far as their business plans, because I don't think they've been spending a lot of time outside of class working on them. So those are some of the things that I've been noticing. And I think it's just because of an hour and a half versus 3 hours is such a, like, it makes a magnitude of a difference. So, but overall, the girls are like, the girls that are really like passionate about the class, like you could tell they really want to be there. Whereas it seems like, at this point, the girls that weren't so committed, like you could see that maybe their parents maybe wanted this more for them than they did. Those girls have, a couple of them, like you've noticed, I think we started off with 13 girls. I think we're now down to 10 officially in class. And so I think you can kind of tell that the ones that were not so committed are now no longer attending class.
So what, we're down one more? I thought we were at 11.
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
we're still technically at 11. I've had some communication with Shaylin, but she mentioned that she would be at our most recent class, but she wasn't there. So that's why, and she's a student that, she's the one student who we didn't assign a mentor to, because we have noticed that, she hasn't been coming to class. But so yeah, I think just to follow up with what Rachel said, I don't know, it is hard to really read their engagement all the time. And as for like, another roadblock is that just since we are virtual, I think communication has to be is just that much more important. Communication, honestly, on their end. So making sure that they're reading the emails, that they are, especially now that we've introduced mentors, that they are communicating with their mentors. The mentors have been great, like following up. Hi, we connected at this last class. Want to follow up, and making sure that it is part of the student's responsibility to respond to the emails, and respond to let us know where they are with their business plans, everything. So communication is just it. I don't know. They're aware, but it seems to be a roadblock as well.
And they're young, Kat.
Absolutely.
So I mean, you guys actually have, you will have to reach out to them. It's not like us, okay, I asked you to do that, you'll respond,
Yeah.
you have to follow up with them. That's just the nature of this game. I know last year we talked about doing a mid-class survey of the girls and parents and how's it going. Can you two put your heads together and kind of do that for, in the next couple of weeks, so we can get a sense for, how things are going? What do they feel they need more of? What do they, need less of? Can you kind of, because having those data points and being able to adjust if we need to is really important.
Yeah, I hear you. I was thinking about that. I do remember we mentioned a mid class survey. The thing is with that, I was thinking about our kind of beginning of the year survey that we pushed back, that started a little later. So we got a lot of those responses, honestly, I believe January. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant to do another one so soon. I know we definitely want to do one at the end of the year, But if we do a mid-class survey, I think the questions probably will be probably a few, not as many questions. It is kind of like pulling teeth, sadly, getting the students to respond to surveys and everything.
Mhm.
So, but we can definitely send something out within the next few weeks. If it's just, maybe it's and I'm thinking we also have a um, a mid survey for students to fill out about how their mentor experience is going. So it might be
Maybe
us,
combining those two
yeah,
together.
like adding a few
That
questions that is like kind of speaks to the program in general. I think that would make sense as well.
perfect, because that's really the purpose of
Yeah.
this mid-class survey. The first one was benchmarking. Where are you with confidence? How do you feel? So this is more like, can we do something different or better, or what's working, what's not working,
Okay.
kind of questions. Yeah, that would be important. And I think you raise a great point. Combine it with the mentor survey.
Yeah.
That would be great. And then maybe next team meeting, you can share some of the results from that survey
Okay. Yeah, that's no
and the
problem.
mentor survey.
Yeah,
Okay.
good deal.
Okay, great. Any roadblocks or things that you need help with Yay? I know we have a number of other things we'll go through, but just in general.
What do you think, Rachel? Nothing immediately is coming to mind. Nope, I think just taking it all one day at a time, and getting really organized about follow-ups, especially with the mentors and students, to make sure that they are able to meet outside of class, since that time goes by really quickly. So I think that's going to be like one of my priorities, like this month, is checking in with like students and mentors on what that relationship is looking like.
Okay, that's a good segue into a mentor conversation. So that's started. We're what, like week 3-ish of mentors, 2?
Yeah. So this will be our second week.
Okay.
So yeah, last week we invited the mentors to class, to have, for the students to see the mentors, connect, do like a quick introduction. And I think that went well. All of the mentors that were there also had their students there, except for Vivian. Her mentor was there, but Vivian left class a few minutes early. So that was something. And then I also heard back actually from Vivian's mentor today that they were able to connect, but also that Vivian recently, she broke her leg within the last few weeks. Yeah. And I believe she's in like 6th grade or something. So she's just feeling like she is feeling a bit overwhelmed just with keeping up with school, and then Yay, and then the leg, and then now has a mentor. So I think that's the student we're gonna keep an eye on and connect with. But yeah, her mentor just got back to us today, and she's like, I connected with her mom, and she said that she recently broke her leg, which I wasn't aware of. But yeah, so
Maybe you could send her a little get well card, in the mail, like a handwritten
yeah,
real card that with
yeah.
a stamp.
And
That never happens.
yeah, and she will receive. I have to check in with Sheila to make sure that all of the for the students who weren't able to pick up their items, to make sure that all of those got sent in the mail, or if they're on schedule to send this week. But right now, she will receive. We have a card. We have a card for each of the students with the Yay message. But yeah, I know she. I think we'll just have to check in on her to make sure she's okay, because that's a lot.
That is a lot. So yeah, it would be great if you or Rachel could send a little card. That'd be great. Anything else on mentors that we need to go over?
Yeah, I guess just the last thing. I want to. It's something for us to kind of think about, like mentors for this class as well as for future classes. So for this year, basically we've invited the mentors to all of the classes, but I want to send a follow-up to let them know, like, we're inviting you to these, but maybe it's not required, especially if the mentors are meeting with the students outside of class. Basically, since the time in class goes by so quickly, and we want to I want to be like kind kind of aware of their time. So if they aren't able to make it, as long as they are meeting with their student, able to meet with their students outside of class, that is like honestly the most important part. But yeah, I just want to, I guess, make sure that that message is kind of clear to mentors and to students that like we'll try to like have that time in class for students to connect with mentors, but also we often have like the content as well, and then also speakers and stuff. So we can't always be like, okay, this week in class, this amount of time that you can connect with your mentor, is what I was thinking.
And I had told the mentors, I told them that they would be doing their mentoring outside of class.
Gotcha.
So I don't think any of them, I also told them that yes, they'd be introduced in the first class, but I think most of them were planning on doing it outside.
Gotcha. Okay. That got it. That makes sense. I guess I just wasn't um I just wasn't really read in on that communication that you had with the mentors earlier. I was just also looking at I guess how Ye recommends it, like having that time in class.
Well, that's when it's live. Yes, that's what
Yeah.
we did.
Right.
But we had to shift this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And also for the virtual planning guides, they recommended having like the mentors in class for a part of it. So that's why I guess I was a bit confused about what maybe you and
Okay.
I think you and Sheila maybe kind of talked about like plans for mentors, and I think I just wasn't really read in on that. So I think that's where some confusion has.
Okay.
But
Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I think it is nice having at least giving them the option to come to class,
Oh,
but
I agree.
especially since the communication part between student and mentor is so important. Like say, unfortunately, say if a student isn't communicating with their mentor, like at least you would think that this is one place where you can for sure see the student, connect with them. So I kind of want to give them that option.
I mean, this mentoring is going to go really fast. What happens if you had the mentor and the student block out their time from 6:30 to 7? I mean, if they mentored then that doesn't cut into your class time, because I know class, it's gone before it even starts.
Yeah,
So, and then that may make the students more accountable.
true.
Because I know that happens in this business blast is better, but last business blast, some of the mentors had trouble getting the students to respond. So I'm sure it's the same with Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, and I do want to send them a message, and kind of because I've had a few mentors reach out like, hey, do we need to come to class? Do we not? And I kind of like on an individual case, I'm like, hey, you're welcome to like see your student, but also I think it'll be good to like send. I can do that. I'll do that definitely today. Like, hey, this is like the schedule, but you're welcome to come to these classes. Not mandatory. And then also if you are having problems like connecting with your mentor, maybe like directly after class would be the best time.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would be the best
It
time.
would. It would be the best time for the girls. I mean, their mind is there.
Exactly.
It would really be best if they could do it Tuesdays.
Right after
Yeah.
class. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll recommend that.
Yeah, and I think we'll pose that question to the girls in class tonight to see if that's something that they would be open to. Like, hey, would you be open to connecting with your mentors for the last half hour from 6:30 to 7? Because I think also being mindful of their day and their time too, because I'm sure they're on computer screens all day long. So yeah, I think we can definitely pose that to them in class tonight or tomorrow night.
For sure. Okay.
The initial class survey results, do you have those, Kat? What do they look like? I'd love to know.
Yeah. Okay. So I do have SurveyMonkey pulled up.
Oh, I think I have to share my sharing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
I didn't know if you wanted to share your screen.
Let me see if I can pull up the results. I think SurveyMonkey has a way for me to like kind of show overall responses. 1 second.
Okay, while you're doing that, why don't I move on to the other things?
Okay.
And then, yeah, okay. So next was Yay Female Strong website. Rachel, you want to talk about that because you're doing some updates to that as well.
Yeah. So basically what I will be doing for the website is kind of, revamping, updating a lot of the actual, the like banners and web pages. So kind of helping to help people coming to the website learn more about the program, kind of being able to register for next year, as well as talk more about the Yay program. I'll be like kind of summarizing. Sorry, guys. Wow. So basically kind of helping to paint a picture about what the Yay Chicago chapter is, why it's different from all the other ones. Really talking about like why we believe so strongly in the power of women joining together to feel safe and supported in an environment. And so really talking about why, who we are, what we are, why we host this program, how to experience it. And I'll also be making updates to the volunteer section, and kind of helping I'll also kind of help to like cross the link the Female Strong website to the Yay website so that people can actually find both, either by clicking on the Female Strong as well as through Yay, and a couple of other updates as well.
And one thing, and I know you touched on this, it's really hard to find the exact details about the program, like how much it is, when is it, what you do, so Rachel's going to make it very, very clear on those points as well. And then really hammering home, like we've got some upcoming student recruitment events. The CEO Roundtable is a student recruitment event. The investor panel is a student recruitment event. We have our April 21st official student recruitment event. So I want to make sure, Rachel's going to make sure that that's getting across on the Yay website. And I want us all to be cognizant of that in our communication too, because that's an excellent opportunity for potential girls to see what the program's all about in action. So that's important. Okay, did you find what you need, Kat, or?
Yeah, kind of. I'm thinking of the best way to show it. I can just kind of share my screen and like walk through a few of the responses. Or I don't know if you prefer to I can also follow up and send you like a PDF version of like our responses.
Yeah, and I'd really like a summary,
Okay.
So of the 4 out of 7, like what percent said this, things that are tangible that we can compare as exact data points. That would be really important. If there's any kind of verbiage, I don't recall even the questions we asked, but things that we could use in marketing, like my daughter is really insecure, I really hope the Yay program is going to help her, or I have no idea, those kind of questions.
Yeah.
Those quotable things, I'd love a list of that as well.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Yeah. I think I can honestly, we have a few like data analysts on our team who can kind of take the information. Right now it's in a kind of a PDF form, but like transcribe it to be like, okay, this. We can get that to you. Yeah. I can get that to you this week, Jody.
That'd be awesome. Thanks, Kat.
Of course.
Okay, CEO Roundtable. This has been one of Jinjin's huge projects. And so I'll just start a little bit with announcing. So at the very last minute, we had last minute ads for panelists, and we couldn't say no. So we have 5 panelists, which is amazing because it's a great lineup, and 1 moderator. So at the last minute, we got Jenny from Jenny's Ice Cream. We have the VP of development from QB, which is this cool thing that like a little treadmill under your desk you could do. We have Winnie Park, CEO of Paper Source. We have the founder of Jenga, and we have a younger girl, Noor, who founded her own business in high school and is continuing, in college. She's a University of Chicago student. So we have awesome people. and I'll kick it over to Jinjin because she's been managing all the marketing and all that stuff. So take it away, Jinjin.
Sure. So just on a very high level, I think the program right now, I just compiled information on the flyers and getting all the marketing material. For example, the email sent out to Yale students and other people in our Kindful contact list. I getting communication material to these people ready, and I think the next step would be communicate or better coordinate with those CEO people who are actually on the panelist, CEO roundtable panelists, on the CEO roundtable panels. And this stage, I think we're still trying to get everything ready, but I'm excited for the next stage, which is actually just reach out to as many people as we could, and waiting for people to sign up on our Kindful and on the Eventbrite.
Perfect. And Jinjin's going to prepare a report, but on Kindful, we might have 12 people, but we probably have at least 30 on Eventbrite. So registrations are coming in pretty well, and we've got some great marketing things that are going to drop, videos that I've done. We're asking the speakers to give some videos, and we have a sponsor too, for $2,500. So Edlong is one of our sponsors. So for the CEO Roundtable, which is great. So they're promoting internally. So lots of great things. This is technically our last call prior to the CEO Roundtable. However, if we need to have a last minute call beforehand, just for logistics, I want us to do that. But at a high level, like, here's what's going to happen. So from 4:45 to 5, the panelists and the speaker and myself will all log on to the Zoom. And just so they can go over any last minute details, so they can kind of meet each other all in a group. I've pretty much talked to all the panelists in advance, so they know, who we are, what we do, what's going to happen. And our moderator, Jessica Zweig, is like genius at all of this. So she'll be able to move things back and forth. Then from 5 to 5:30, that's where you two log in with the girls. And that is the girls' time, just to be with the panelists and the speakers. So my thought was, you have each girl, it's only 30 minutes, but each girl prepare really 1.5 minutes maybe of who they are, how old they are, where they're from, what the name of their business is, and just a little overview, because that'll also give them some public speaking practice. So if you can make sure they're prepared for that. Secondly, if they can research all of these speakers in advance, that's super important, because I think each girl needs to come with at least one question to ask. And I'd like you ladies to review those questions, to make sure there's not overlap, that they're thoughtful, etc. We only have an hour for this whole panel. So the panelists will talk a little bit at the beginning, but I'm kind of thinking that's like no more than 15 to 20 minutes of just the moderator and the panelists, talking. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, how much time do you think the girls should need? Kat and Rachel.
Yeah, I was thinking of like the time broken up. I know that that hour will go by fast. I do like the idea of like 20 minutes for panelists. That last 30 minutes could definitely be for the students to ask questions. So that gives us like a 10-minute kind of buffer time. So in case anything from the panel goes over, and then also maybe just to kind of check in on everybody. Yeah.
Okay. And because we're on Zoom, I think Kat and Rachel, you should have teed up, okay, so-and-so you're the first question, so-and-so you're the second question, so-and-so you're the third question, because otherwise it's going to be mayhem, right? So if you can organize that, to make sure you know who's going first, second, third, and maybe since there is 30 minutes, and print this out for the girls so they know, who's going when, because we might have time to do a round 2 cycle of questions with the girls,
Mm.
so just follow the same order of who's asking. Yeah. And how do you feel? Is everybody going to be open to asking a question? Because certainly in the roundtable last year, not every person asked a question. I just want to make sure it's organized since it's a Zoom.
Yeah, so last year, I can speak to that. I know that a lot of the, I think when we asked the girls to send us their questions, I think I only received responses from like 1 or 2 girls from the entire class. And so what Sheila and I did is we created questions for the girls to ask the panelists. Obviously we we told them to look up all the panelists, do some research on them. But essentially what ended up happening, and why I'm not sure if you remember the questions being so good, it's because Sheila and I came up with them and we just had the girls read them out loud. And so I think, we'll ask them to do that. But I think, just based on what happened last year, I think that something similar just might be the case again. And then we'll just let them know, hey, you'll be first, second, and third. So I think that's probably the best way for us to go about it. But I definitely think we'll first, obviously, have them send us their questions. And then if we don't receive any responses, then we'll go ahead and come up with questions for them.
And will you spend 3 to 5 minutes in class, talking about, these are some examples of kind of questions that one would ask, or what would you think would be interesting, for yourself and the rest of the audience to learn? Because this is new for them. They're going to need to be taught a little bit about what are good questions.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. And I'm going to feel better if we have another run through of the CEO roundtable prior to this. So I'll schedule something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if there's time at the end, I'll just open it up to other people, that are attending as well. But and actually I'm going to need a little bit of time. So we may not have time. So we'll work through this, but if the students are done in 20 minutes,
Mhm.
maybe you can send me a side chat or something, and then, we can open it up. Who's running all of the tech for this?
So I'll run the tech for it. Right now it's set up under my Zoom account. So Jody, you mentioned logging in that 4:45 to 5 o'clock, that would be you and the panelists and everything. So I'll have that open. I'll be logged on by 4:30. So if whenever you want to join, yeah. Oh, that I'm trying to think. Rachel, we'll just have to communicate to the girls. This is this is a different Zoom link. So, because right now for our yay classes, we have a reoccurring Zoom, but I'll just make that clear. Don't go to the reoccurring Zoom for this week's class for the CEO roundtable. This is, a special link. Yeah, so I'll do that. I was wondering, is there going to be any slides that we need to share, or I don't know, anything? We can kind of think about it, but
Maybe. I actually haven't thought about it. Maybe, but I doubt it, because we're just not going to have so much time. So is there a waiting room for people that all of a sudden at 5:30 the floodgates will open and we'll just let them all in?
right.
Then?
So right now there is a waiting room. It's set up where me, and then I can make whoever a co-host. I think I can make Rachel a co-host. I can make you a co-host, and then we will manually let people in. So say at 5 o'clock, and it's kind of how we have our yay class. I can see when students are arriving, and there's a button to just let everyone in. So that's kind of what we'll do. I'll be able to see who's waiting, and
then you can mute everybody, and then we'll
yeah,
I'll give directions and all that stuff. Okay.
exactly.
And then can Rachel and Kat, can you remind the parents need to sign up
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
attend? So make sure that they're signing up to register, give them the link.
Okay.
If any of their, family members, brothers, sisters, everybody's got to sign up. And if I recall, we tested the Zoom link and it goes to another sign up, I think is how it works. Is
Yeah.
that how you intended it to work? So then they enter their name again, like they've registered in Kindful, blah, blah, blah. Then it sends them to a Zoom link for sign up. What is the purpose of that? As
Mm,
opposed to just giving them the Zoom number?
Yeah. I mean, I think we can change that. I think with like for like Zoom events, often I've noticed that's kind of it has like a description of like, okay, this is what it is. So say you said that some people were registering like through like maybe I haven't seen the Eventbrite, but we can make sure that the communication on that mirrors what is said in the Zoom thing. But yeah, it's just another setting on Zoom, like for they kind of recommend it for like events for people to basically just sign up, and you can also keep track of like I guess emails maybe that are registering for the event, whether if we do anything follow up to that. But
Oh, good idea. I didn't think
yes,
about it that way. So there's no security screening to let them in. It's just who
there
showed
is.
up.
It's or you said to let like once they actually get to the Zoom, or what's your question? What's your question exactly?
So the question is when they receive the Kindful registration, it then says, okay, now, I don't know, here's the link for the Zoom. So
Mhm,
then they're routed to your Zoom, they put their name, their number, their email, whatever in.
mhm,
And then when it comes time for the event, are they
mhm.
going to be prompted for their email that they provided at registration? Or are they just going to be automatically in the waiting room? What does that look like?
Yeah, I'll have to like kind of look into that. I know I've done it before for events. If I know something starts at 6, say I log on right there at 6, and then it will kind of immediately take me to the Zoom. But if you register in advance, I'm assuming, but like I said, I'll have to look into that with Zoom. But Zoom should send like a follow-up email like, okay, you registered for this event. Um, Here's the link to join, like, and it will there's an email that's like, here's the link to join. And then I assume like at the time of the meeting, they click that and it will immediately go there.
Okay, Kat, can you do a trial of this? Like set up your own event to happen on Friday or whatever, and have 2 or 3 holistic people sign in, like go through the process. So you're actually experiencing firsthand what our attendees are going to experience.
Yeah. How about like I set up, because I wasn't really aware, you said with Kindful, can you kind of explain like what that looks like? So with Kindful, it's sending out invitations to people, or what is
No, so theoretically, they haven't updated our website yet. So
okay.
when they update our website, it's going to say, if you'd like to register, click here. So when they click here, it takes them to Kindful, which is our registration system. And it will
Okay.
ask them for their first name, their last name, their email number, email address, or whatever else. And then they say register. And they have an opportunity to make an additional donation if they so desire. It's free, but if
Okay.
they want to make a donation, they can. And then they receive, and Jinjin, why don't you go through the flow there? What?
Sure. Mhm. So the way the event being set up is people will see the event and they can register, whereas they fill out all the information, name, address, email address, and the confirmation. If I remember correctly, it'll be sent in a confirmation email, which is a Zoom link. But when you click in the Zoom link, they will direct you to the second sign-up page that's asked the similar or the same set of information, which is your name and your address. And then if you click register again, and then they will show you the actual Zoom link that you can click in and to join the Zoom meeting. And I registered, I went through the same event with all the booth, some of the booth seminar I attended. How it worked is if they send a reminder of the Zoom event, they will send you to the registration site instead of the actual Zoom link. So it's always a link to re-register, and then they will send you the second email with the actual Zoom meeting. But the Zoom link you send is not a link to the actual Zoom meeting. It's a link to
Gotcha.
second registration page.
Okay, gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. So we can cut out some. I didn't realize like the how we were going to have on our website it connect to Kindful. They put their information in, and then it would be that is repetitive for people to like put their information a lot. We can cut that out, and I can go in, look at the settings, and it changes to just the Zoom like meeting ID and everything, so that people don't have to register again, if that's what we prefer. That should be no problem.
I think that's easier for people than keep entering information.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, I mean, it would be nice to know who registered versus who attended and what percentage,
Mhm.
et cetera. We plan on sending a follow-up to everybody who registered.
Okay.
So that's okay. And we want to record this too, Kat. So hopefully you have the Zoom
Yeah.
set up to record.
Mhm.
Okay.
I do.
Great. Yeah, I'd like you to go through this process. So if we're not doing this whole Zoom thing, Jinjin needs just give her the Zoom dial-in information.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
therefore, in the confirmation that comes from Kindful and from Eventbrite, it will say, thank you for registering. Here's the Zoom information you're going to need on that day.
Mhm.
End of story.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that makes the most sense.
Okay, great. And then you can get that to Jinjin in the next day.
Yeah.
It's done already. You already have the Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, super. And I know we're going over, so I'm going to just cut some of this stuff short. Investor panel, I'm not really going to touch on right now. Student ambassador program, we had our first call. The girls are really excited. We're having each girl sign up for a different component of, do you want to do interviews? Do you want to make videos? Do you want to write some things? And we've already kind of parsed out a little bit of who's going to do what. Would you like to be on a committee? That's a big thing that we're really trying to build out, because I would love the girls, and I've already asked Annika to be on the Business Blast community committee, because this is a new program. Is 6 weeks good? Does this format work? Would it be better to do something else? Like, to get their feedback on what we're doing to make sure it's helpful. So I'm excited for that. We're going to have quarterly calls, so each girl can kind of share what's going on, what they've been involved with, and any kind of new programs. Just to touch on workshops, we had to cancel the January workshop. We had one person sign up. So Alexis, who is one of our interns, is working 100% on workshops. So she's involving the student ambassadors. We're trying to incorporate video. We're doing a little bit more things with our marketing. We've got Facebook ads, like we're trying here. So hopefully that will get some traction with that. So encourage any signups for workshops. Moving on to events, we had the Simply Be event for our female strong community. It was a hit. Everybody loved it. Jessica did a great job. Emily is going to follow up and just do kind of an adult book group on Jessica's book and have it really be a very low-key working session in March. So we're going to start doing some registrations for that. It's free. We're just wanting people to kind of continue the conversation, be able to connect with each other and learn. We'll move on to volunteering. Diana, I know you've had a lot going on. The floodgates kind of opened because of our Google ads with volunteers. We were getting, Diana, probably, I don't know how many you got, 50, like crazy amounts. So we've removed that from our website, or we will be in the next few days because it's just too much. We have enough volunteers. So go ahead, Diana.
So yes, I got volunteers from Pakistan, Canada, all over the world. And actually, several volunteers from girls that are in college, which Jody and I talked about. This is another category and we need to figure out how to use them. So part of the process is figuring out new ways to use volunteers. Right now, my focus is on finalizing the Business Blast mentors, because I have told them that the first week in March, they will be getting a business plan and they have to return it within 3 to 5 days, because that's when the mentor and the mentee will do the notes, which Kat, that may be perfect for them to be in class on those 2 days. So that it's all there. Otherwise, trying to get this information is going to be a nightmare. But yes, I'm still calling a lot of the volunteers. So weeding through them. And then Jody, I am sending, like the Guggenheim people, I did send them the volunteer link if there were people who wanted to do specific volunteering. So I'd rather do it that way, to specifically say, fill out the survey, rather than opening it up literally to the world. So yeah, but it's good.
And then we have the volunteer fair coming up.
Oh, yes. Chicago Volunteer Fair, which the city of Chicago does it. This is the first time that it is virtual. They get 2,000 to 2,500 people who attend it, and it's at the Peggy Norbert Museum. So February 9th, I will be attending a training, and I'm waiting until I do the training so that I really understand what this is going to be. I don't know if it'll be like the NABO event where there are rooms that people can randomly go to the room. And I don't know if you answer questions individually or if they expect a presentation. But I also thought, because Yay National has recommended that whenever you speak, have a student with you. So I thought after February 9th, I would ask student ambassadors who wants to volunteer to be, it's a 6-hour open session on a Saturday, but maybe get girls to be there for a half hour, an hour, or as long as they want to be there in the room.
Yeah, I'd get them to sign up for, so you know they're going to be there from 9 to 10,
absolutely.
like an hour long thing.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's a great idea.
Yeah,
Really good.
So, and I may even individually reach out to people that I know who would do it rather than open-ended. You usually get better response if you say, will you do this, rather than who wants to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good idea. And it's an opportunity. Obviously, the purpose is volunteer, but it's also awareness for our organization and what we do. So it's really good for that.
Yeah.
Now, I know we're at the top of the hour, so I'll let you all read the rest because it's pretty self-explanatory. And I would like to just schedule another run through call for CEO Roundtable in specific, because I just want to make sure we got all our ducks in a row. So thank you, everybody. One word from each person about, how you feel about February.
I'm feeling excited.
Oh, that was my word, Rachel. I gotta think of another
Other
word.
times too.
I feel energized. I feel like we have a lot going on, but it's all manageable. Like we're in good shape. So I feel energized.
My word is fast. It's going fast.
Yeah.
My word is hopeful, since we have a lot of good panelists on our CEO roundtables. I'm hopeful that we're going to have created great traction for people to attend.
And mine is just, I guess it's outreach. I just feel like we've got our fingers are so many different places, and we're getting a lot of positive reaction back at us, which I love. And so our outreach is working, our outreach is continuing, and we're just going to be touching girls and people and spreading the word. So it's all good. Right. Thank you, everybody, for today. Thank you for your hard work. We're making enormous traction, and it's all thanks to you all on the phone. So thank you very much. Have a great month. I know I'll be in touch before that, but have a good day.
Jody.
Okay. Bye.